Good morning. This is Steve Onsman, pastor of Calvary United Church of Christ in Reading, Pennsylvania, an open and affirming congregation. Um, I'm glad you're with me today. I'm glad you're watching. If you like this, hope you'll share it with others. This is called the Wednesday Word, where I ask people to give me challenging theological and biblical questions to try to answer them in under 7 minutes. Haven't done one in a while because I'm not getting questions. So if you want to put a comment in there and send me a question, send it to me. I'll do it anonymously. Anybody could send it to me. There must be something you always wanted to ask but never could. So today, I have a question from Harry Morrow, a wonderful member of our congregation. The story of Solomon. Would Solomon really have cut the baby in half, or is this another metaphor? That's a great question. So, of course, the story is from 1 Kings chapter 3 and is, in a nutshell, that there are two prostitutes arguing over a baby. They live in the same house. They both have babies within a couple of hours. One baby dies because the mother, it says, lays on her and kills him. And the first woman then accuses the second one of switching the babies, and they bring it before the king. He then calls for a sword because he can't figure out and whose baby it is, and says he's going to cut the baby in half. And the one mother says, no, keep the baby alive, give the baby to her. The other one says, I don't care. No. Okay, so obvious. There's no question who the real mother is, at least in spirit, right? So let's get to the question. First, I don't think it takes incredible wisdom to make this kind of decision, right? There are ways you could do that. And I actually went to some of the rabbinical writings about it and some of the responses to their writings, and none of them really think that this is a question of wisdom. Most of them made the point that when we say something, we will put the most important thing first. And so the mother who says, this is my baby, as opposed to your baby is dead, which one of them does say, would be a clue as to who the real mother would be. I don't know if I buy that completely. So the second thing is, I doubt that if both women said to cut the baby in half, or what would have happened if they had said, both had said, oh no, give the baby to the other as long as the baby stays alive. Would Solomon have cut the baby in half? I doubt it. Because, like the story of Moses, for example, where the Pharaoh's daughter is walking and finds this baby in the reeds, knowing it's an Israelite child and that these children have been murdered, still takes the chance to save the child. So, babies are for most people, are sacred, most cultures. And I think they would have found a home for the child. So personally, I think Solomon, kind of like the prophets, when you read some of the prophets, some of them are extremely dramatic. They're extremely, they're over the top. And so I think Solomon had a flair for the dramatic. And I think he was calling their bluff, the woman who was not the mother. I think he was calling her bluff. And I want to believe that if Solomon was truly wise and good, he would not have sacrificed a baby to make a point. But it's not necessarily a metaphor either. I mean, it's traumatic, but it's not necessarily a metaphor. But what would have happened if they both had decided to say, if I can't have, the real mothers, if I can't have my own baby, then nobody can. Would he have done this? I mean, that's an impossible question to answer. I mean, I think about, there are a lot of leaders through history who are not quite right. I mean, think about Herod, right? Herod's having a party, and his stepdaughter, another weird story, dances so nicely for him that he offers her anything she asks for, and her mother says to her, ask for the head of John the Baptist. So it tells us that, so not to look bad, Herod cuts John's head off, even though he respected him and liked to listen and talk to him. I mean, would Solomon had done that to not look bad, to just like, oh, my bluff has been called. What do I do now? Ha ha ha. I don't know. I'd like to think Solomon would not have done that. So, you know, so no, it's not, I don't think it's a metaphor. I think it's actually a real story that happened. I think that sometimes, you know, our Old Testament kings, prophets, messiahs with a small m, would do things dramatically to make a point. But I doubt he would have done it. He would have found a third party to take care of the baby, or maybe he would have just banished both of the women and you know, raised the child as his own. Who knows? I like to think Solomon was a better, far better person than his father David. Anyway, that's all I have for today. What do you think? You can send me an email. It's onsman@comcast.net. Message me here on Facebook. Always looking for questions to grapple with. I'd like to do one of these every week, but I will only do them when I get a question. So send them to me and I will do one of them on the Wednesday Word. Now, stay safe out there. The Delta variant is really nasty, and we still need to take precautions. We really still should be wearing masks to protect ourselves and others. We should be washing our hands, keeping physical distance. We are still live in worship at 8 and 9:30 for one more week, and then 8 and 10:30 with an adult class at 9. But I'm hoping that things will not get so bad we have to go back online. Send me that question and have a wonderful day.